Good morning, everyone. Welcome to historical Fort Scott. We are now in Kansas, and if we see Dorothy, we'll tell her hi, and we'll try to avoid the Wicked Witch. And you know, we can always click our ruby slippers 3 times and say no place like home. But we're off to see the Wizard of Fairbanks, so welcome to Kansas. Well, we're in Kansas and heading down US 54. Kansas reminds me a lot of Ohio. The same kind of look with the hardwood trees and open on both sides, a nice road. This is a state road and not a lot of traffic, as you can see. Everything that we planned on riding is pretty much state roads and county roads, just because it keeps us off the interstate. Interstates are just crowded with lots of traffic. So with that said, of course we got some traffic, but there hadn't been any traffic for a little bit. And just wanted to give you a little look of eastern Kansas before we start to get out to the western side where it gets a little flatter and more plains. So on our way to Dodge City, and then we'll see time-wise when we get there. If we go past that, we may stop on the other side of Dodge City. Plan on being in Colorado Springs tomorrow for lunchtime to meet up with an old friend. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little look of Kansas and what it looks like to ride in formation on a motorcycle for a little bit. Huge farms out here. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. Thunderstorms went through last night when we were at the motel, and it had rained a fair amount of the evening. Woke up this morning to clear skies and nice cool weather, so couldn't ask for a more beautiful day to be riding motorcycles across the United States. Well, here's a little open space Kansas for you. A few some rolling hills. But once I crest the hill here, I'll give you a look. And here's the open space of Kansas. As you can see, it's pretty wide open. That's just signaling to me that there's somebody on the side of the road. Good afternoon, everyone. We are at Wichita, and we bypassed Wichita to the north and west, and we're on our way shortly down to Dodge City and then to Garden City. Anyway, I'll show you a little bit here of the northwest side of Wichita. Again, it looks a lot like Ohio. A lot of farming going on. We're on State Route 96. Heading to the northwest a little bit right now. So, the route across Kansas there on 54 was really pretty, nice and green, high plains. I think we're sitting around, I don't know, 1,400 feet above sea level here, so we're starting to get into the high plains part of Kansas. And I can show you here real quick. As far as elevation goes, we're at 1353, so we're climbing. Anyway, just a little bit look at the cornfields. There was some hay fields over here that they were doing a little bit with, so we're kind of heading towards Hutchinson a little bit, but we'll angle down to Dodge City and then on to Garden City. So stay tuned. Just wanted to check in with you and let you know we are heading west. Hello everyone. We're on a little county road cutting off an angle, and gonna get to see some wheat fields here in Kansas. It's currently 82, and we'll be on this road for about 19 miles, then we'll make a turn onto Kansas State Road of 61. We're actually going to angle down to, I believe it's 50 and 400, which will take us into Dodge City. But this will angle us down there. And anything's better than running on the interstate. Which that's what we've been doing the whole time, is not running on the interstate. All the way across the states here, I've been looking at the corn, and corn crop actually looks pretty good. The old farmer saying is, if your corn's knee-high by the 4th of July, then your corn's going to be just fine. There's a lot of winter wheat that's turned yellow. It'll be ready to harvest here. Usually around the 4th of July is when they start to cut the wheat. But that's all planted back in the fall and grows during the winter time, and that's why they call it winter wheat. And as you can see, it's a beautiful shade of gold, and they'll be taking it off here in the next couple weeks. Again, just a nice, beautiful country road in the state of Kansas. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're rolling into Dodge City here, so it'll be coming up here in about 3 miles. Get it as we're rolling into town. This here is Fort Dodge, outside the city, the original fort. At least the location of the original fort. And the soldiers' homes are over here. About 2 miles till we turn and actually enter the city proper. Some big cattle farm way up there. Look at that huge super farm way up there. Believe me, you ought to be glad you can't smell it. Original fort sets about a mile out of where the center of town is. There's a little marker right here, says Dodge City, established in 1872. Of course, we're stuck behind a manure truck, and it stinks like manure. At the light up here, we'll be turning left on Wyatt Earp Boulevard. here's the Dodge City limit. Like old Dodge City right here in the old buildings. I don't see much. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We haven't found Miss Kitty. We haven't found Miss Kitty. We haven't seen Marshall Dillon or Festus or the Doc. But I do know one thing. We got gas and we're getting the hell out of Dodge. And for anybody who doesn't know who I'm referencing or the show I'm referencing, Google it. Our track today took us from Fort Scott here across to Wichita. We bounced up 96, took a little county road, and then Kansas 61 down to Pratt, and then back out on the 400 up to Dodge City, and then up to Garden City, which we're at tonight. Tomorrow we'll be in Colorado Springs around lunchtime, so stand by for new updates on the map. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share a few stories that we've come across on our journey so far and some of the people that we've met. It's been very interesting and quite delightful. When we first started out the trip, we stopped at a marathon station down around Okeechobee, Lake Okeechobee, and we pulled into the marathon station, got some gas, and went in to get some water and get a receipt. And the young man behind the counter said, "I see you got BMWs." He says, "I didn't know BMW made that nice a bike." And we talked a little bit, and he goes, "What you doing?" And I said, "Well, we're riding from Key West to the southern point to go to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska." And he kind of looked at me strange, and he goes, "Two guys on motorcycles riding from Key West to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska." He says, "I just got on my Facebook some videos." He says, "You're Kev's Revs." And I said, "Well, there's no way you would know that. How do you know that?" And he said, "Well, on my Facebook just about an hour ago, I got this YouTube channel that I needed to watch." And he said, "I watched the first 3 videos." And he said, "It only made sense." He says, 2 guys on BMWs leaving from Key West going to Prudhoe Bay. And he says, "You gotta be Kev's Revs." So kind of random and
kind of surprising that somebody would even know who we were and what we were doing out in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, when we got down to the southern point, if anybody has been down there, it's right beside a naval base there, and it's packed in a little corner, and there's no place to park there. And the day that we got there, when you saw the video, there was a line all the way back down the block to just take a picture at the buoy. And so I looked at Ted, and we knew we would probably have to park blocks away and walk. Well, we just so happened we stopped. There were two gentlemen in a cart, like a golf cart, and they had just got ice cream, and they were pulling out of this parking spot, and the parking spot was about 25 feet from the buoy. And we both looked at each other and we went, well, I think Denise arranged the parking spot for us, because this is so rare, the chance to pull up there with all these people and park that close to the buoy. The next thing was Ted went down to pay for the parking and went to put his card in, and the parking meter wasn't working. Said we had to go to another one. So not only did Denise get us a parking space, she also took care of the parking fee. It was another thing that made us smile, that she was looking over us on that day. We have traversed this far, and everywhere we stop we run into people that are surprised that we're riding from Key West to Alaska, and we tell them the story, and they're amazed at what the story is. There's a lot of great people in this great country, and they are friendly, and they're understanding, and they're supportive. And everywhere we stop to get gas and they see the North to Alaska sign, or they see us on BMWs, they start to talk to us, so we're able to share the story with them, and it's always the same thing. They're very supportive. They instantly want to go to the YouTube channel, look it up. And I want to give a big shout out to Ron. We met at the gas station. Thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate it so much. But we have run into so many people that have been so kind, and that's what America is about. There's a lot of great people, and we expect, as we ride on every day, we're going to keep running into more and more people. They're amazed that we're this far this quick. So I just wanted to share that story with you tonight before I call tonight, and I appreciate everybody's support, everything that they're doing. Drew and Sherry, thank you so much for taking care of the chickens and playing with Jaeger. I know he appreciates that. And we will continue on this great journey. If you like what you see, just give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, tell everybody you know, and stay tuned for the next video. Good night.